crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadtoruler.com with your morning hornets, your sip of chaga, coffee. Crazy days in silver. Yes, silver's up 40 cents. Woohoo! I remember, I'm not going to talk about the old times again. We will have $5 days when it moves up $5 at a time. There is some new information, a new theory from none other than Ted Butler, who's the number one best silver dude in the world. Hands down. Nobody even comes close. All of us would not even be talking about silver. Silver would still be stuck at under $5 if it wasn't for Ted Butler, if you ask me. And by the way, he has its own blog that he puts out 2 reports per week. Go to butlerresearch.com and sign up. And it's awesome. He's got some free articles right at the top. He's not a YouTube guy, so you'd have to read. I know a lot of people have a problem with that. I used to be just a blogger too. But back in the day, I used to just write. And I was doing YouTube interviews, and that kind of said, well, why don't I just start a YouTube channel? And then things got a little bigger. So there you have it. But definitely butlerresearch.com is worth the price in gold, the price in silver. Anyway, silver's on a roll. Get used to this. There's going to be a lot of green in silver. They haven't lost control. Control is still there. But Ted has a new theory on where the JP Morgan rigging stands. And it makes sense to me. Now, he was of the camp that they were leasing their silver because silver was showing up in these damn warehouses, the silver warehouses. Let's take a look at where those silver warehouses are. Here's SLV. In the blue is the SLV Holdings. Take a look at that. This point, so this is the blue. This is SLV Holdings. They use it to rig the markets. We talked about that. Got their original money from original silver from Warren Buffett when the government threatened to take down General Re, which was his insurance company that was committing fraud. He made a deal with them. Hey, you can have my 130 million ounces of silver to start your silver ETF if you let me off the hook. That's how these games are played. So that was, I think, the last major settlement in the silver rigging, silver manipulation between the official government and a big silver player. You can go back farther. There's others. Actually, it wasn't the last one. The last one was the JP Morgan takeover of Bear Stearns. That was all about silver short position. But for the last 10 years, JP Morgan has been running, their rig game pretty viciously. Created an artificial bear market by putting Bill Daley as Obama's chief of staff. Rigged the price from $20 to $50 in 2011, then slammed it back down. This time, they are being forced to close out one. We know they closed out their short position. According to Ted, they've closed out their short position. It's right. They might have a couple thousand contract short position, but nothing like they had before. And it's the big 8 metal dealers that have that short position now. But Ted believes that they have worked out a deal with the government. And for the Road to Ruta analysis, remember, it was back on September 11th that the takedown began. This is ongoing. It'll probably end on September 11th of this year. So it's a 1-year takedown of the cabal. But here's what happened on September 11th right here. We had 2019, a real high run-up in silver inventories all the way up until September 11th of 2019. That's when the takedown of JP Morgan happened. The DOJ filing RICO charges against 6 of their, changing the current charges to RICO charges for 6 of their traders, and saying that, oh, by the way, we're investigating you too, JP Morgan, all to reinforce their hand that you better play with us, you better make a deal with us, or you're screwed. That's right in here. the beginning of this year, first quarter, I think that's when the deal was made that Ted is referring to. There is a deal. And the deal was to back all your physicals, back all the shorts on the Comex with physical. And it's being done in the gold markets, massive inflows of physical gold into the ETFs. Now, here's the problem. I think that ETF gold and silver is a fraud. I think there's multiple owners of all of it. So I think it's bullshit. I think it's complete fraud. JP Morgan is the custodian of the SLV inventories. But so we don't know, one, if there's multiple owners of that silver. We don't know if they're fake silver bars. A lot of people think the gold and silver ETFs have fake silver bars in them. I would say, of course they do. There's fake silver, fake gold everywhere. So I don't see this as the DOJ coming out and saying, oh, you need to stop rigging the market. They aren't stopping the market. But it should be clear from the volume of silver. So right here was the when takedown started. Silver inventories fell drastically from 380 million, 390 million ounces down to 360. And then all of a sudden, the deal was struck and bang, the spike and the price. I guarantee you the deal was struck right here, right when the price slam down happened, because JP Morgan knew they had to go get physical. So they slammed the price down from $19 down to $12, $11. And then ever since, look at the price, look at the amount of silver put in the warehouse from 360 million ounces to 500, by far the largest ever, 500. And this is just SLV. There's other ETFs as well that most likely is part of this. Now, Ted seems to think that go. You can read his. I don't want to tell everything that he's going to say. Everybody's going to know, and as soon as Ted publishes something, that's the new theory of the silver bugs. So it makes sense though that a deal was struck. Go join Ted's service, butlerresearch.com. Anyway, that's why we're seeing silver prices continuing to run. I do think they're going to continue to run, come into line with Cliff's data, $5 days and stuff like that. I don't think they're going to allow JP Morgan to blatantly go short, naked short, and rig the price, or the other bullion banks. Now, excuse me. BlackRock, I would say, yeah. BlackRock, I think, is going to take over the silver short position that has been passed down from Drexel Burnham to AIG to Bear Stearns to JP Morgan. And instead of, all those other firms almost got taken out, AIG probably was the most systemic. But JP Morgan's being taken out of their silver rigging possession. I believe it's going to BlackRock. I have no doubt in my mind that BlackRock will attempt it. They have the people, some of the original Fed and commodity dealer people work for BlackRock, part of the cabal. BlackRock doesn't have to report like JP Morgan has. So the crimes will continue for now, but I do think the price of silver is going to continue to run. When it breaks 50, that's going to be kind of the make it or break it moment. They'll probably go 50, slam it down to 35, and then instantly jump it up. Don't know though. So if you're you need to have physical silver in your own possession. All this stuff today, and I'm going to go through some real scary stuff. As of today, all assets should be in your own possession. You have to be able to ride out market disruptions, meaning they put the price of silver down at $1 with a click of a mouse on the computer trading floor. They put the price of Bitcoin and cryptos down to a penny. They can do that with a click of a mouse, but they can't take it away from you if it's in your own possession. So make sure you get your silver and your cryptos in your own possession, not on an exchange, not on a third party. If you can't tell me what your private key is, then you don't own anything in crypto. If you can't tell me what your silver feels like, you don't own anything in silver. Everything else will go away. Silver mining stocks, silver ETFs, crypto exchanges, they're all going down. Will it be chaotic? Absolutely. What will do the price? Nobody will know. They could easily, I hope everybody can see that, easily they could shut down exchanges. Just say, oh, too much craziness. We can't allow exchanges to happen. And by the way, if banks go down, crypto exchanges go down as well, as they all deal with the banking. Just keep that in mind. Get your assets in your own possession. All right. Where we are with silver futures, and interesting, this is the biggest delivery month ever. But September is looking like it's going to be massively bigger than that. The September open interest is still at 140,000 contracts. Yes, there's plenty of time for it to go down in the month of August before the first delivery date. I think it's August. I don't know. The end of August is the delivery date. But I do expect it to probably double or triple what we are seeing this month, which is the biggest ever. And the open interest is showing that, yeah, it's looking like 140,000 contracts. Yes, I know we're about probably 30 days away, 30 trading days away or so from the first delivery date. When the contract delivery says, I want my silver. Anybody who shorts silver at this time, I don't think the banks, I think Ted is right that some deal was struck. But obviously the banks don't have that kind of 140,000 contracts is 700 million ounces of physical silver. Right now, we're at like 15, which is 75 million ounces. So it would be 10 times if everybody stood toward delivery today for September. Obviously, the open interest won't be that big. I don't think they can even fill that much. They're having a hard time still filling the current deliveries. Again, there's right now for this month with less than 10 days, probably like 8 days or something left in the delivery month that all these contracts have to be delivered. There's still open interest of 1,594 contracts, which is 7.5 million ounces, 7.6 million ounces that haven't been delivered yet, even though somebody's paying for storage on that metal. And who is it? I don't know. Probably JP Morgan's the only one who has that metal to deliver. They were the only ones that delivered last Friday. Only ones that delivered 115 contracts, and then everybody was taking. I think the big 8 commercials, Ted says they probably are also involved in this deal. Which means they have to get silver into their possession as well. And how can they do that? Well, obviously they can do it by owning SLV and being one of the delivering authorized participants or other ETFs. So you're seeing a lot of action of the big banks, Bank of America, Mizuho, Goldman, Morgan Stanley, Citigroup. These are all part of the metals rigging cabal. They're all taking delivery. But again, I mean, if there's 8 days, I think there's 8 days left in this delivery month, they're going to start having to deliver about 200 contracts every day from here till then, because it has to all be closed out by the end. Now, the Comex can always change the rules. They can always do a backdoor deal. They're the most criminal institution, one of the most criminal institutions in the world, the CME Comex commodity market. It's embarrassing that they collude with the CFTC and the DOJ, and it's all a big game. But it does appear, based on this inventory build, that a deal was struck, and they're trying to get some kind of semblance of normalcy back in the markets. I don't think it can happen without chaos. When markets get rigged, there's just so much you can do to unrig them without the rig falling apart. So keep an eye on this. But remember, at any time they can click a mouse and destroy everything. Speaking of clicking mouses, crypto's hanging tough. Yeah, you definitely want to have cryptos as part of your portfolio. I know so many people, they're either all silver or all cryptos. You got to have both. I can give you scenarios where both kind of go away. You got to have both. Physical silver, number one. Cryptos, in my opinion. Cryptos are definitely part of our future. I can't tell you which cryptos. And these cryptos are massively, 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 massively rigged. Massively rigged. Just look at the volume. Everywhere, just look at the volume. Litecoin, remember Litecoin used to be traded like double the amount of Litecoin that's ever been made would trade in a day. It's at about a half now because people are not, nothing's happening. People look at price. I get emails all the time. What's going on with Litecoin? Why don't you talk about Litecoin anymore? The only reason people think anything's changed in Litecoin is they look at the price. The price is rigged. The price means nothing. Litecoin's fine. Litecoin was built to be a means of exchange in connection with Bitcoin, and that's what it is. It has been built. It's there. They're working on secrecy within Litecoin with Mimblewimble. That's going to be great. But don't look at price and say, "Oh, this is what's happening to Litecoin." It hasn't moved. Prices are rigged on the exchanges, especially at Binance, the largest exchange in the world. Look at the volumes. Tether is the worst. Obviously, Tether is part of the deep cabal. The volume, $17 billion in a day. That's just stupid. It was started by the deep state and it is run by the deep state. You want to know what's going to happen with Tether? So watch what happens with Trump and the pedos. Lots of movement on that front, by the way. Tune into Snippy's channel to get the current scoop on how the Trump Snippy turned into an old Bix Weir. I was like, the good guys will win. The good guys will win. Snippy's all in the good guy camp now, with Q and all that. And it's right. It's happening. I'm not guarantee you that the good guys are going to win. What I said back in 2007 is that there is a battle between the good guys and the bad guys behind the scenes. And then Q came out in 2000, whatever it was, and everybody's like, oh, yeah, Q and the good guys are doing this. I was at 2007. I was an early good guy shower that, hey, it's not all doom and gloom. And that came from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston comic book. Big guys. Alan Greenspan taking down the big guys with his computer programs that he invented in the 1960s and has given control to the U.S. Treasury, Federal Reserve, and the Exchange Stabilization. Greenspan's getting old, so if he wants to see any of his grand plan come to fruition, he better. I don't think he has control of anything anymore, but you never know. All those old computers guys always gave themselves a back door. So I think the good guys can pull the plug on the criminals at any time. The biggest problem now is it takes the whole economy down with them. If they could surgically extract all the evil people's wealth, including cryptos, out of the criminal cabal that controls Bitfinex, Binance, and Tether, then things would have happened faster. But they somehow got their hands on a lot of cryptos, and I don't know. I don't know what can be done. They're working on it. Good guys are working on it. Anyway, the whole world is crazy. Here's the latest. Gunman kills son of federal judge recently assigned to Epstein case. In case anybody doesn't know, there's a battle going on behind the scenes between the good guys and the bad guys. That battle is leaking out into the public. This is, we first spotted the headlines about a lone gunman's lethal assault on a home of a federal judge in New Jersey. We feared this was just an example of how criminals have been emboldened by the nationwide backlash against law enforcement, by defund the police movement. But that was before we learned that the judge targeted in the attack, New York Judge Esther Salas, has been assigned to Deutsche Bank Epstein lawsuit just 4 days before the attack. This is absolutely in your face. This has been going on for over a decade behind the scenes. The gloves have been off for a long time. We're just starting to see it. So don't let this freak you out. More stuff will, Ghislaine Maxwell will probably go disappear to Epstein Island number 2 with Kinley and all those people. It is insane. Yes, I know. But it always has been. It was just behind the scenes. Now it's in your face. And I want to finally end Snippy and his woo-woo dude, who I have spoken with, by the way, and he's the real deal. We're talking, and holy shit, there's stuff coming out about this comet stuff, and we've been talking about Earth changes for a long time. Cliff High has talked about it. Michelle White Dove's talked about it. Woo Dude is now talking about it. Snippy's doesn't know what to do. He didn't know where should I live. Jesus Christ, do I need to move? But Woo Dude and him came out and they're like, yeah, there's shit coming down for the planet by August, September, October, which is the prime time for the breakdown of the metals rigging, prime time for the breakdown of that's when COVID #2 will probably hit before the election, and then you got the election. I told you the second half of the year is going to be ridiculous, and we're in the middle of it, and it's going to get worse. But if we do see, Woo Dude seems to think we're coming through, we're going to get a bunch of comets coming at us. Not a big killer one, but a whole bunch of them. So we're going to be looking up in the sky going, holy crap. That he's definitely in touch with the right spirits. So I'm pretty much get my umbrella out for the comet's going to rain down on our heads. But hey, just throw it in with a mix of everything else. What do you do as a spiritual being living in a physical world? You take it as it comes. As Cliff High says, you have to be, you can either be static or dynamic. The static person's going to lose. That's the person who just says, I'm sitting with my money in my 401k and I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to pretend everything's going to be the same. Dynamic person says, holy shit, this changed. I need to change this investment. This changed. I need to move. This changed. I need to do this. Or as it happens, how mobile are you with your physical silver? Can you leave it where it is, bug out, and come back 10 years later? Can you take your cryptos with you? Ask Dick Allgaier about mobility and silver, mobility and gold, mobility and cryptos. Crazy shit. Crazy. Anyway, that's year zero. We were warned in September that year zero was coming. We're living through it. It's going to get a lot crazier. But this is the juice of human soul evolution. We wanted to come here at this time so that we could experience all this stuff to grow. Like what's the good of sitting back and everything being perfect? You don't learn anything. That's why so many rich people are miserable. They get rich and it's like, oh, this is great. Now what? They're all miserable. Anyway, I posted go to roadtoruda.com. Yesterday's video was a discussion with Will Lair, my buddy from Perpetual Assets. And I gave out the wrong phone number again. Go to perpetualassets.com. Don't trust me with anybody's phone number. Perpetualassets.com and sign up to trade cryptos. They'll get cryptos in your own possession. In your possession, as in you have them in your possession. As soon as I just fill out their application form, they do it absolutely by the book. It is illegal to sell cryptos without the proper licenses. No, I will not sell crypto. But Will and Gus went through the process, and that company will do that for you. So contact perpetualassets.com and listen to our interview. Go to the YouTube. This video right here is going to be on the front page of roadtoruda.com. That's how we do it lately on the Road to Ruda. So go check it out. Also, Word Wednesday with Paige is up. Word Wednesday with Paige, and it's a good one. It's a good one. It is, what did we talk about? Deep State. Deep State? Yeah. And it was good. Paige is on fire. If you haven't hung out with Paige on a Word Wednesday, do it. Anyway, if you want to join the Road to Ruda and get 100 Theta and Theta Fuel shipped to your front door, go hit subscribe today at roadtoruda.com and join the private road. I will send you 100 Theta and 100 Theta Fuel to your front door. You don't have to worry about crypto. It's Bix Weir, roadtoruda.com. I'll talk to you later.